Hello, this is a response for Sebastian Sanchez. I think it's interesting your take on this. I as well was brought up Catholic and I see myself drifting off from it. I think it's interesting to see how that, as generations grow, there is sort of that like decline on like Catholicism. I also think it's very relevant to the political climate that's going on right now with like, you know, um like certain policies that are affiliated with the church. I think it's interesting to see also this kind of like you kind of brought up like this kind of existential crisis that you have because of like you're drifting away from your faith. But I feel like this is sort of just kind of like how we as Latinos identify so heavily with our culture, and part of our culture is going to be religion. We identify so heavily with that idea and that sense of community, even if it's within the church. And it's because of our collectivistic culture. And I think there's someone, your identities in some way or another kind of has ties to the Catholic Church. And I think we feel like guilty and uncomfortable when we grow apart from certain ideas, maybe like ideas that are like necessarily we don't agree with, and but are still part of that group. And it could be a little uncomfortable. Growing up is always going to be uncomfortable. I think it's interesting that you say that the church has been kind of used to influence a group of people. And this is very true because I feel like Latinos are very vulnerable and subject to influence, within the church, because we're so heavily connected and identify with it. That I feel like it could be used as a bad tool to kind of like use propaganda and kind of sway people into like certain politics and or voting for certain people. And it's important to note and educate our parents and future generations about the danger of this propaganda, and how to use how to like properly navigate your faith through religion, which doesn't have to do with political stances. And it's a very like difficult and complicated subject to like unfold and kind of like identify with it within the Latin community.